which book will win the Booker.
It's a book about how fast life is, how fast it goes.
All the characters in Oxygen have various breathing difficulties.
It's about sort of a war between the rich and the poor, it really is there.
I tried to write as though the book is a translation.
It's about children and grandchildren of Nazis.
In many ways, I hope the reader would be moved.
The Booker Prize live tonight at 9:50 on BBC Two.
Now on BBC One, Susan Osman and David Garmston with tonight's Points West.
Good evening and welcome to Wednesday's programme.
In the news tonight, decision day that could change the Bristol skyline forever.
Why it might not be such a Merry Christmas for some West stores.
And the inventions from here doing rather well in the Big Apple. Good evening. Well, first to something that a lot of people get very passionate about. Shopping is the one sector that's currently enjoying a boom, but there is a downside. Retailers across the region are struggling to recruit staff for their busiest time of the year. Our business correspondent Malcolm Frith reports.
This is Britain's latest retail mecca. Next month, the American supermarket giant Walmart will open this superstore in Swindon. It's their first purpose-built one in the UK. In fact, it's the biggest of its kind in the country, covering nearly 2 football pitches. To run it, the company needs 600 people. And in a town that records almost zero unemployment, finding staff hasn't been easy. But in recent weeks, Swindon has been feeling the effects of job cuts. And this has helped Walmart.
What's surprising enough that's happening here in Swindon is that manufacturing base is now coming through. We've seen people from manufacturing industries actually applying for positions, particularly also where you've got dual incomes, maybe housewives, house husbands, who are actually coming forward because of the insecurity of the manufacturing industry and obviously coming towards the service industry.
And it's also a challenge here at the Mall at Cribbs Causeway in Bristol, finding shop staff. They want to recruit 700 staff in the run-up to Christmas. It's estimated that between now and then, 4.5 million shoppers will be coming here. And every effort is being made to ensure they will be served, but it's proving difficult.
We've got a lot of competition around here for employers. Obviously we've got Aztec West to compete with, but at the moment there is a lot of low unemployment in Bristol, so it's difficult, and retailers have got to work very, very hard to get some staff into their stores.
But now, in a joint project with Patchway High School, a course on retailing is about to be launched. The Mall is hoping this will help attract school leavers.
Many of them think it's rather like the work experience they've been doing, and I think the retailing trade has got to sell progression in its own training and its own opportunities, so they really realise that they can actually have a very exciting career, and that the Mall is one of the places where they can do it.
For the retail trade, this is their busiest time. Without staff, many Christmas shoppers could face the prospect of long queues at the till. Malcolm Frith, BBC, Points West.
There's a prospect. Now, one of the biggest harbourside developments in Europe could be given the go-ahead tonight by councillors in Bristol. Crest Nicholson wants to build a mixture of flats, offices, shops and leisure facilities on derelict land along Bristol's docks. It centres on the area known as Cannons Marsh, near the Lloyd's TSB building and the new At Bristol complex. Previous designs have met with public uproar. What will happen tonight? Scott Ellis is at the Council House.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Council Chamber, which is filling up for tonight's debate. It will be packed. Well, good evening and welcome to the Council Chamber here in Bristol. Well, good evening and welcome to the main Council Chamber here. It will be packed tonight, as it was the last time. We all thought the plans were going to go through then, but they were thrown out at the last minute. What's going to happen tonight? Everyone keeps asking me. I don't know. It's too close to call. It's a very big development. For Bristol, a very big decision. Derelict land that spawned 10 years of heated debate. Tonight, it's time for Bristol to make up its mind. Will the city at last give the go-ahead for one of Europe's biggest harbourside developments? It's a mixture of city centre flats, houses, small shops and leisure facilities, including an 8-screen cinema. There's been decades of argument, including the BBC's own open mic discussion last year.
This has caused so much trouble, this huge cinema, we don't want it.
But now many protesters have been won over with a new set of plans.
A lot of the objections have been answered, and I think my own prediction is that the planning committee members will probably feel the balance is now in favour of going forwards.
So it could be third time lucky for Crest Nicholson. But there are those who are still worried some buildings are too high, and what will happen to the rest of Bristol if these plans get the go-ahead.
We would gradually find that we would be dwarfed, as some parts of London have been, by high-rise. They're very worried about it now in London. They're trying to hold it back. They managed to hold it back around St Paul's to some extent, but there are other areas where nice parts of the city have been destroyed. Well, this could happen to Bristol. We could become submerged under a forest of high-rise buildings.
There have already been huge changes along Bristol's docks, ranks and ranks of new flats, but not everyone likes what they see.
When we see this new development here, I was very disappointed, and I think it's completely out of keeping.
As I say, if you look from the other side, it looks just like a caravan site.
Amongst all the changes, Cannons Marsh is seen as the final and crucial piece in Bristol's dockland transformation. And if the council says yes tonight, work will start immediately. Well, the Dean of Bristol suggesting the plans may get the go-ahead tonight. He's a braver man than I. The decision-makers, incidentally, are sat behind us. Bear in mind, if they say yes to the plans, there's an outside chance, a possibility, the government could call it in for a public inquiry. That would delay it even further. And if the plans are thrown out, well, Crest Nicholson will probably say goodbye to Bristol, and the land will stay derelict for many more years yet. Whichever way it goes, hopefully, fingers crossed, we will have a result for you tonight on our late bulletin. Back to you.
Well, stay with Points West. Stay with Points West is catching. There's plenty more on offer. Jane Couch gears up for her first fight on home turf, but who's she up against?
And the old ones are the best. We meet the man keeping the spirit alive.
First, in other news, a lorry driver has been charged with 4 counts of death by dangerous driving following a crash in Wiltshire. Christopher Hannon was also charged with possession of Class B drugs. 4 members of the same family were killed in the accident near Warminster in June.
33-year-old Christopher Hannon from Risca in Wales spent today being questioned at Chippenham Police Station. It's taken nearly 5 months for police to charge someone in this case. The crash happened on the A36 Warminster bypass on a busy Friday night. 4 members of the same family were killed when their car was hit by a lorry. 50-year-old Timothy Embleton, 36-year-old Naomi Stevens, and 2 children, Caitlin and Isabel, who were aged 7 and 4. They came from Poole in Dorset and were relatives of Monsignor William Mitchell, the Catholic Vicar General of Bristol. They were travelling to the city to join in his 40th anniversary celebrations. Mr. Hannon returned to Chippenham Police Station this morning for more questioning. He was subsequently charged earlier this afternoon. He's now been released on police bail to appear before Trowbridge magistrates on Thursday week. Steve Nibbs, BBC Points West, Chippenham.
In other news this evening, a public inquiry is to be held into plans for a mobile phone mast for the emergency services in Gloucestershire. People living near the proposed sites at Hawkesbury, Upton and Rodborough are concerned about the health implications of such masts so close to their homes. The applications were both turned down, and now, for the first time, the issue will be considered at a full public inquiry.
A Somerset farmer who refused to allow his cattle to be slaughtered is among those leading a campaign for an independent inquiry into the handling of foot and mouth. Guy Thomas Everard barricaded his Exmoor farm gates, preventing ministry officials from culling his 1,000-strong herd of cattle. Now a QC has been instructed to prepare a case for a judicial review.
Plans to build a cycle route through the Wye Valley are to go before the public tonight. Up to 170,000 people a year are expected to use the trail, which would be 10 feet wide. But opponents say the development would ruin the landscape and threaten wildlife. Those who support the scheme claim it could revitalise the community. Well, to football now, and Yeovil Town fans will no doubt still be rejoicing this evening after knocking QPR out of the LDV Vans Trophy. There was success too for Cheltenham Town, who beat Plymouth Argyle 2-1, and also for Bristol City. Unfortunately, Swindon Town didn't do so well. They lost 1-0 away to Colchester.
They've already made a name for themselves as giant killers, but last night Yeovil Town once again proved their worth, crushing Division 2 side Queen's Park Rangers. Chris Giles, on recall in place of Scott Ramsey, took Yeovil ahead in the 6th minute. Rangers barely applied the pressure, and 10 minutes from time, substitute Kim Grant used his speed to put Yeovil 2 ahead. Just minutes later, Yeovil's victory complete with another great goal from Chris Giles. Final score at Hewish Park, Yeovil Town 3, QPR 0. Meanwhile, City striker Lee Peacock couldn't have had a better return to the first team at Ashton Gate. After a lacklustre 90 minutes against Torquay, the game went to a golden goal. Joe Burnell's low cross in the first minute set up striker Peacock. It means City go through to the second round draw with a chance of meeting rival Rovers or even giant killers Yeovil Town. Maurice Flynn, BBC Points West.
Well, staff at Gloucester Rugby Club were embarrassed today when they had to admit their most expensive player ever was running late for his own official signing. A press conference was called at lunchtime in honour of Henry Poole, but after 3 hours, he still hadn't shown up. Staff finally admitted the 27-year-old was stranded in Bradford without his car after 3 days of very heavy celebrating. When the New Zealander eventually appeared, he told reporters he'd been lost. Heard some excuses in my time. 3 of the region's cricketers have been called up for the England one-day squad when it tours India and New Zealand. Somerset's Marcus Trethkothick and Andrew Caddick have been included, together with Gloucestershire's Jeremy Snape. They'll be among the 16-man England side playing 5 matches against both countries.
Triple world boxing champion Jane Couch is finally going to make her professional debut in her adopted home city of Bristol. The opponent has yet to be revealed, but the fight will take place at the Whitchurch Sports Centre on November the 25th. Well, our reporter Annie Vowles is at the gym near Bristol where Jane trains.
Thank you. Yes, fans of the Bristol-based boxer are finally going to have the chance to see her in action. Much of Jane's professional boxing has actually taken place abroad, so she's absolutely thrilled and delighted that she's finally going to have the chance to fight in front of a home crowd.
Jane Couch holds world titles at welterweight, light welterweight and lightweight. Never a pushover, the Fleetwood assassin once fought for the right to box professionally, and there was no contest, she won. Today in Bristol, manager Chris Sanagar, himself no stranger to the boxing ring, announced his commitment to women's boxing and Jane's first Bristol venue.
Both Jane and Claire looked at me and thought, was I joking? And I'm pleased that I've been able to carry out my threat.
I didn't threaten him, honest.
The superfit boxer has been in Bristol for 8 years and knows this exhibition match in front of a home crowd will make all the difference.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's brilliant news, and they're very passionate about the boxing in Bristol, and you can just feel when the crowd's behind you. A lot of the time I box abroad in other people's hometowns and they're all booing you, and it does get you a bit down, especially when the rounds go on and it gets a bit harder. So yeah, it does help lift you and keep you going.
Heading the bill, another local talent, Darren Dorrington, will challenge for the WBF European middleweight title. The undercard will also feature Bristol's new rising talent, Claire Cooper. Couch no longer needs to prove herself as a woman boxer. The fight in Bristol will be a warm-up to defending her world lightweight title at the end of the year.
Well, I can tell you there's an awful lot of sweat building up here in the gym. Oh, you two, come over here and talk to me. Jane Couch and Claire Cooper. Jane, how much practice are you going to actually have to do for this fight?
I'll probably train about 4 or 5 hours a day, be in the gym 3 times a day. 6 days a week, I'll be working really hard.
Look at this stomach, look at it, so firm, I know. Now, Claire, you've just turned professional, 22. Right. What's made you decide to want to be a boxer?
I don't know, I've always been interested in boxing. It wasn't until I got down to the gym and got involved with the sparring and things like that really inspired me, and just totally enjoy it.
And how much of an inspiration has Jane been?
A very large inspiration, yeah. I mean, I watched Jane sparring. Unfortunately, I can spar with Jane now. I've seen a lot of her fights, and it is very inspiring, yeah.
I don't think me rude, and I'm perhaps in a very sort of perilous position to say this with you two here, absolutely. But you do look quite sort of petite and frail to be a boxer.
Yeah. Pardon? Yeah.
What do your family think?
Yeah, they're behind me. They're obviously concerned that I might get hurt, but other than that, I think they're just happy that I'm keeping fit more than anything, you know.
And how much of it is a mental thing?
A very large percent. I mean, you can be as fit as anything, but if you haven't got your mind on it, it just, you know, isn't worth doing. You've really got to concentrate, get your mind set.
Jane, she's just starting out in her career. Any sort of top tips for her, really?
Don't do it. No, I mean...
Don't you want Anne?
No, I mean, she's doing the right thing. We give her advice all the time, so she's doing the right thing.
Yeah. Now, I know for both of you, it's great, isn't it, to be able to play in front of, fight, I should say, in front of a home crowd. But
Yeah.
you really are a Bristol lass, aren't you?
I certainly am,
What
yes.
does it mean to you?
I'm hoping that Bristol will be behind me, put Bristol on the map. It means a heck of a lot. I've got so much family and friends in and around Bristol, and hopefully they'll all be coming to watch me box. So I hope to put on a good show.
Now, I know you've turned professional, but you actually have a full-time job as well.
I certainly do, yeah. I work 9 till 5:30, so... Yeah.
Well, it's a real commitment to both of you. Good luck, won't you, on the 25th?
Thanks.
Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Annie. Of course, we wish them both the very best. Now, necessity, they say, is the mother of invention, and she's given life to a few stars in the West over the years, as we know. Inventors like Wiltshire's James Dyson, for example, maker of the bagless vacuum cleaner. Well, this week, his products are on display at a huge exhibition in New York. They're among several glowing examples of British design excellence. But there is one West contribution that's, well, a little different.
There's no mistaking the provenance of this instant classic. The wacky design, the bold colours, and wrapped up within the latest household technology from Wiltshire company Dyson. The prototype robotic vacuum cleaner is in New York, where there's a huge exhibition being held in the city's Grand Central Station. It's showcasing the best of British design and inventiveness. The venue's right in the heart of New York, where thousands of businessmen and women pass to and from work each day.
But it's from these far less attractive beginnings, or perhaps I should say ends, that one of the more interesting products at the exhibition actually comes from. This is Wessex Water's sewage treatment plant. 50 million gallons of water come here every day from around Bristol, and now a fifth of it's being turned into this. It's a fertiliser. The manufacturers say it's one of the best things you'll ever put on your garden, and it's coming to a garden centre near you very soon.
Wessex Water's been turning sewage into a cash crop for some time now. The system in Avonmouth was opened in 1992. The farming industry has been the main customer, but only now does the public appear to be ready to take back what it got rid of and pay for the privilege. It's appearing in small, privately run garden centres like this one in South Gloucestershire, and already the interest is there. It's organic, and right now that sells.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
However, everyone asks the same question.
Does it smell? No, it doesn't. It's completely odourless. I mean, as you can see, it's absolutely fine. No smell to it at all.
So the fact that it's eco-friendly, that's quite a strong appeal to you, is it?
Oh yes, definitely, yes. I mean, I've got a compost heap, but it's not enough for the front garden. And this pellet should be just the job.
It's a good material, we know how well it works, we know it has really, really good results. And sales have been, well, for a new product, they've been remarkably good.
Wessex Water's fertiliser and other great ideas that came from humble beginnings will be on show in New York until the 27th of October. A welcome bit of exposure for the men and women who changed the way we live with their ideas. Adrian Lord-Phillips, BBC Points West in Bristol.
Just how easy is it for new ideas to get noticed and become reality? Well, one man who should know is Professor Martin Lowson from Bristol University, who's just won a European prize to develop a driverless taxi scheme. It's called Ultra, and you've got a little model of it here this evening. Where did you get the idea from?
Well, the idea really came from trying to find a better way for transport in the 21st century.
It's called Ultra. What does that stand for?
Urban light transport.
So it's no driver, so how does that work?
Well, you program up the vehicle with your smart card, and then you get aboard the vehicle. It takes you where you want to go, anywhere on its own network, automatically.
And how does it actually run? Does it run on any fuel or anything like that?
It's battery powered.
So very, very environmentally friendly.
Oh yes, it's officially sustainable.
Now you've won this European prize, but it'd be fair to say there is global interest, isn't there?
Oh yes, we've got a lot of interest around Britain, particularly in Wales. And in Europe, we've got 4 separate countries about to look at it in Europe, and also America and recently Australia.
Now, I know you're going to need at least £12 million for it to become a reality. What about the image of the struggling inventor? How true is that?
Well, we have had support from government funding, notably. But it's been a long time, 1985, and then we got support, and then it all died up, and the team had to be broken up. Then you have to keep on going and try to gradually get it happen again.
Now, I know you plan for this to actually be in operation in Cardiff by the year 2004, yes. But when might we see it in operation in Bristol?
Well, that'll probably be later than that. Cardiff wants to be the first, and many cities wish to be second rather than first.
And what do you think the overall benefits are of travelling by Ultra?
Well, it's available for you when you want it. And you go where you want to go, non-stop.
And what is the length of the journey that the little driverless taxi will make?
Well, in Cardiff, for example, it's an 8-kilometre track from the Cardiff Central to the Bay Area. So it's as long as the guideway is.
You must be very proud of it.
Well, I'm enjoying it, and there's a lot of work to do yet to get it to really work. But if it does work, then I should be proud of it.
All the very best. Thank you very much, Professor Martin Lowson, for joining us.
Thank you.
A cab with no driver, no need for a tip, I suppose. Now remember the jukebox that the Fonz used to play in Happy Days? Well, there's one just like that in Somerset, where an enthusiast has the biggest collection of jukeboxes in the southwest. Dave Franklin restores the machines, and this weekend he's taking the lot to a festival in London. I went to meet him and spin a few discs. They're beautifully made and were built to last. The jukeboxes that blasted out the sounds of the 50s and 60s are still going strong. This is a Seabird, just like the one in Happy Days. Thousands of these played out to Fonzes across the States. The collection belongs to Dave Franklin, who works full-time repairing the mechanics, replacing the valves and polishing the chrome. Dave, this is an amazing selection that you've got here. How popular are jukeboxes these days?
Well, they're still very popular from the people of nostalgia point of view.
What effect does it have on a room when you put the jukebox on?
Well, it makes it come alive. There's no doubt about that. You play a jukebox and the record sounds totally different than what it would be on a normal record player.
And people dance?
Oh, they do, yeah. I hire them out for dances. No problem. Weddings and different things. Yes, they take them and they want, and people get up and dance then.
Now you get them from all over the place. This one's local, isn't it? And it's still working, although you're waiting to restore it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it came from the Forest of Dean. A lady rang me from the Forest of Dean and said that she wanted to sell it. So I went down and gave her the necessary and away it went. But that's not been workshopped by us yet.
The jukeboxes came over from the States, and as rock and roll took off, so did they. This one, a Wurlitzer 2204 for the technical, was built in the year I was born, 1958. Dave's colleague Paul keeps a collection of old 78s and 45s, so people who buy the machines can play the oldies they like. As the years passed, the jukeboxes became more sophisticated, and by the 90s they were playing CDs with digital quality sound. But the old ones are the best. Now, Elvis would recognise this one. It's a Wurlitzer 1080, made in 1948, very popular in the late 40s and the 50s. Dare I ask how much money it's worth?
It's 9,000 at the minute.
The whole collection is going to London this weekend for a festival where the Teddy Boys of 40 years ago will be reminded of their youth.
David, you certainly hide your light under a bushel.
Quite
What
a
little mover you are. Not. Now, before the weather, news of a success for People Power. You may remember last week we told you about a 100-year-old tree which was facing the axe in Devizes. Well, tonight we can tell you it's been saved after protesters moved in. The London plane is the last of 4 which stood in the town's market square until just over a week ago, when the Borough Council ordered their destruction. It claimed they were diseased, but angry residents demanded an independent assessment. A tree surgeon has now given it the all clear, and it can stay.
Well, let's branch out to the weather.
I knew you were going to say that.
Will he get it right, or will we give him the chop? Richard's here with the forecast.
Almost as good as your dancing, your jokes.
Thanks very much, David. Well, are you going to be giving us lessons later on? I haven't quite got the moves right.
No, please.
We can work on it. We
certainly can.
Well, in actual fact, I just reckon I've seen a flash of lightning behind you out through the window there, because things are happening weather-wise at the moment. Another warm day today, temperatures up to around about 19 degrees Celsius, comparing with the average for this time of the year of about 15 degrees. But as I said, things are happening. You can see low pressure way out to the west there. Southerly winds again, so that's why it's been so warm. But you notice these couple of lines, trough line and then a cold front out to the west, and they're going to be moving in for tonight. You can see on the weather radar those 2 lines of showers starting to push in across towards the West Country. And it's that first one which is giving a threat of some thunder. In fact, we had a report from Radstock about an hour ago There was some thunder down there, so don't be too surprised if you hear the odd rumble of thunder. I don't think many great amounts of rain with it, but certainly as the night time approaches, then we could well see that band of rain giving some quite heavy downpours for a time, though by the end of the night, the whole lot should be well out of the way and it'll be turning drier. So tomorrow, change again. It looks like it's going to be quite a decent day, largely dry, largely bright, both through the morning and indeed through the afternoon. I've put a shower symbol down there into Somerset, not suggesting that that's going to be there at most at risk, but there could be the odd shower just about anywhere. But for most of us, it's another good day, dry and bright with some sunshine, albeit hazy at times. Temperature is still pretty good, maybe not quite as warm as today, but still up to around about 17 or possibly 18 degrees Celsius and a bit less breezy than it was today. And then the tide times, there you are with high tide at Portland tomorrow at 8:36 and again at 20:52. The outlook is going to continue showery over the next few days, certainly some heavy showers around later on Friday. Sunshine and showers on Saturday, heavy when they occur, but some sunshine in between, and temperatures again quite reasonable, 17 or 18 degrees. More of the same on Sunday, and I'm glad I mentioned the thunderstorms because I've just seen another one at the window behind you too. So for me, that's it for now.
David thought
Thanks
it was
very much
waiting
indeed.
photographers, actually.
Paparazzi.
It's dancing. Just before we go, here's a reminder now of the main stories in the West this evening. One of the biggest harbourside developments in Europe could be given the go-ahead tonight by councillors in Bristol. Crest Nicholson wants to build flats, shops and leisure facilities on derelict land at Bristol's docks. Previous designs have met with public uproar.
And the retail sector in the West may be enjoying a boom, but traders are struggling to recruit staff. The new American supermarket, Walmart, is finding it difficult to find 600 new recruits in time for its opening in Swindon next month. Well, that's all from Points West this evening. I'm off to my disco dancing class.
As if you need them, as if you need them. That's it for the Points West team for now. Do join us at the same time tomorrow. We look forward to your company. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wednesday night on BBC One.
Hello and welcome to A Question of Sport.
Tonight, this is your last.
Which village is missing its idiot?
Wednesday night entertainment on BBC One.
Tonight, the National Lottery winning lines has an estimated rollover jackpot of £12 million. Tonight at 8:45 on BBC One.
Can the Tractor Boys continue their 26-match unbeaten home run in European football? It's Ipswich versus Helsingborg in Match of the Day Live tomorrow from 8 on BBC One and Radio 5 Live.